Hi, my name is Julio Rivera. I'm an activist, journalist, adventurer, veteran, television presenter, and businessman. I've covered many of the major historical events going on around the world over the past several years, and after watching regime changes, conflict, and historic elections globally, I've come to the conclusion that the most underreported crisis in the world today can be defined in only one word: malware. That's why I've decided to dedicate my time to educating people everywhere and exposing the dangers that exist on the devices that we've become tethered to and depend on for so many reasons in our day-to-day life. Welcome to This Week in Malware. On This Week in Malware, we'll be covering RagnarLocker Ransomware gang uses Facebook ads to publicly remind their victims to pay up. State-sponsored hackers target COVID-19 vaccine makers. And is your browser constantly being redirected to Yahoo search? The RagnarLocker Ransomware gang has taken to posting ads on Facebook to publicly shame victims into paying ransoms. Security experts say that this innovative new tactic is indicative of things to come. In November of 2020, the hackers gained access to a victim's Facebook advertising account. They then bought an ad containing a press release stating RagnarLocker had breached the Italian liquor maker CAMPARI and demanded that it pays the gang's ransom demand or see its data released. Is this the start of a new trend? Experts are saying that ransomware gangs will continue to try new stunts to force their victims to pay. According to Brett Callow of Emisoft, "I've not seen a play like this one before, but it's not at all surprising. Ransomware groups push out press releases and do media outreach, so this was a logical extension." Chris Hawk, a consumer privacy champion at Pixel Privacy, added that Facebook shaming can now be an effective method of pressing for a ransom payment, and added, "While I hesitate to say that I'm entertained by the creative methods the bad actors of the world are using to pressure companies to pay after a ransomware incident, I will admit I am intrigued." The attack against CAMPARI. On November 1st of 2020, CAMPARI was struck by ransomware. On November 6th, the company had issued an update saying some systems were encrypted and some of their data had been lost, although at the time, they were not aware of the extent of the damage. On November 9th, CAMPARI reported the recovery of some systems, but stated that others remained temporarily and deliberately either suspended or operating with limited functionality across multiple sites, awaiting their sanitation or rebuild in order to resume all systems in a fully secure way. The evolution of RagnarLocker. The RagnarLocker gang first came onto the scene in 2019, but laid low until the first half of 2020, when it began a series of high-profile attacks. Like the Maze hacking group, the RagnarLocker gang steals its victims' files before encrypting, and if the ransom demands are not met, it posts data on its leak site. According to Microsoft, 3 major advanced persistent threats, or ATPs, are involved in the ongoing breaches at pharmaceutical and clinical organizations involved in COVID-19 research. State-sponsored hacking groups in particular are actively attempting to breach companies involved in COVID-19 vaccine research. Russia's APT-28 or Fancy Bear, the Lazarus group from North Korea, and another North Korea-linked group dubbed Cerium are thought to be behind the attacks. Most of the attacks have been against vaccine makers that have advanced to various stages of clinical trials, while one victim is a clinical research organization involved in trials, and another developed a COVID-19 test. While some of the attacks have been successful, it's unclear if the hackers were successful in initial compromise or in actually stealing data from the researchers. As far as the APTs involved, Russia's APT-28 group, which Microsoft refers to as Strontium and is known as Fancy Bear or Solfacy, uses password spraying and brute force efforts to penetrate employee accounts. Lazarus Group, called Zinc by Microsoft, uses spear phishing emails to steal credentials by sending emails with fabricated job descriptions from phony recruiters. The Cerium hacking group is also using spear phishing emails, but in their case, the messages purport to be coming from the World Health Organization. This news is just the latest in a 2020 trend of hackers targeting entities focused on getting the world out of the deadly COVID-19 pandemic. Both private and state-sponsored groups target COVID research because of the economic and influential advantages a successful treatment and vaccines will provide to several countries. Other attacks related to ongoing COVID-19 research. In October of 2020, COVID-19 vaccine manufacturer Dr. Reddy's Laboratories shut down plants in Brazil, India, Russia, the UK, and the US following a hack. The Indian company is the contractor for Russia's Sputnik V COVID vaccine, which is in its phase 3 human trials. In July of 2020, the US Department of Homeland Security warned that Russia-linked group APT29 targeted British, Canadian, and US research companies. This APT was attempting to steal COVID-19 vaccine research from academic and pharmaceutical institutions in a likely attempt to try to advance on a cure for the coronavirus. If your default homepage and search engine of your web browsers were changed without your knowledge or permission, and your search results are automatically redirecting to a search.yahoo.com, you may be infected with a browser hijacking, adware, or potentially unwanted program. Search.yahoo.com is a legitimate search engine owned by Yahoo, a well-known internet web services provider. Yahoo Redirect Virus, also known as search.yahoo.com redirect virus, is not technically a virus. Yahoo Redirect Virus is a term used to describe an automatic browser redirect to Yahoo search results every time the user tries to do a web search. Yahoo search is being abused by a form of unwanted software called browser hijacker. A browser hijacker is easy to identify because of its unwanted behavior of changing default search engine settings to a third-party search engine and filling its search results with sponsored content. It also displays annoying advertisements and collects data such as your web searches, IP address, and sites visited. Why is your browser being redirected to Yahoo search? Your browser is being redirected to Yahoo search because you unknowingly installed a browser hijacker, adware, or potentially unwanted program to your computer. Usually these programs are associated with toolbars or browser extensions and offered through ads or bundled with other software, leaving the victim confused about just where the software came from. Computer users should always pay attention when installing new software because a software installer often includes optional software. You can choose to opt for the custom installation option and deselect any optional software that is not familiar or you're not interested in installing. Again, we have to reiterate, Yahoo is not to blame for the misdirection. The parties responsible for the unwanted redirection have redirected you onto Yahoo's site after funneling you through transitional domains while often collecting your data in the process. A browser hijacker's goal is to direct significant traffic to third-party websites, therefore boosting its advertising revenue. If a browser hijacker has infected your computer and your browser is redirecting to search.yahoo.com, you may need to take the appropriate steps to undo the changes made to your browser. What to do? Here are some manual steps that may help resolve the issue. Remove suspicious programs or browser extensions, especially programs you don't recognize. Reset the web browser to default settings. Clear out your browser cache and the DNS cache. If the browser redirects persist, then it is advised to run a reputable anti-malware program to scan for, detect, and remove browser hijackers, adware, or potentially unwanted programs from your computer. You know, as I think about the dangers that exist online, not unlike the subjects we learned about in this video, I know I feel a lot better having an anti-malware program like SpyHunter installed in my PC, providing me the protection I need against malware, and I think you should too. SpyHunter 5's strongest features are found in its malware repair capabilities. SpyHunter 5's remediation algorithms dive deep into your system to remove and address complex malware issues affecting PCs today. While many anti-malware products only flag and quarantine malware and ultimately fail to fully remediate the root problem, the SpyHunter 5 remediation algorithm detects, quarantines, and programmatically repairs malware problems on your PC. SpyHunter 5 is a powerful PC utility that repairs malware threats in many cases where other competing anti-malware and antivirus programs may fail. To detect and remove malware for free, go to enigmasoftware.com and download SpyHunter today. Thanks for watching.